Mm, good afternoon. 5 a.m. Friday morning. Yeah, celebrating with about to have dinner after doing this. It's episode 25. 25. The $99 podcast. If you told me when I started about 10 months ago I would be able to progress to this point, I would have called you crazy. Basically took a leap of faith, well, because I was double dared by Machine Gun and Gallows to do it. And thanks to some of some encouragement from the members of the Falcons, and that's to say it gets easier the more you do it, especially if you're especially if you're introverted like me, and it's helped a great deal. So the boys are currently in the airport, ready to lose their luggage on the flight out to San Diego to drive to Tijuana tonight to work for the crash against Alberto Del Rio and his brother El Hijo dos Caras. And it should be a fun night if the gun remembers to bring his goddamn bags with him. Don't want to have another incident of what happened to Noah a couple weeks ago. Son bitch. It's like you would think, you would think you can learn by now, right? Interesting thing about the card tonight is the two members of the Rascals are supposedly having a match, and as far as I know, they're still having the match, even though they all just signed with AEW like 2 days ago. AEW just basically had a flurry of signings this week, and the timing of which was kind of unfortunate because a lot of talent they signed in the past couple days used to work for TNA, and TNA debuted Impact on AMC, and they had to scramble. They had to scramble and rework their card on the fly. Then apparently they had visa issues with a lot of the talent that was supposed to come in, and the result is LOL TNA as you can get, which is saying something. Because I've been reading like reviews of the show, and it's been basically, when your show is getting compared to WCW 2000, that's not good. That's not good. I've seen like a couple people, say it's like nothing against the talent there. It's just like the overall production. Overall production, they haven't really updated it, and they're still cutting corners, even though they're supposedly like a farm. Supposedly WWE's is helping them out, but when you have like 3 matches, it's your first impression, new channel. You want to go grab new eyes, have new eyes on your product, and you want to try and retain them. It was not exactly not exactly a great first impression, from what I understand. I hear it was mostly, there was more ads and matches from what I hear. And, that's unfortunate, but they sort of, they made that mess. And, it's not the first time this has happened in TNA's history. They are the cockroach of promotions. They've shot themselves in the foot many a times, and they're still around. It's like, you could say that the definition of fanatic is just keep trying and doing the same thing, expecting different results. And so far, they haven't really gotten smart enough that the results they're getting aren't exactly working, which is unfortunate. It's like there comes a time where you have to look long and hard at what you're doing. It's like, do you want to start again from ground zero? Because it would probably be, it would be easier, right? But because their book is right now, it's like Delirious and Tommy Dreamer. Delirious, notorious for like what he did in the ring for when he was booking Ring of Honor. He almost torpedoed that company, in some people's opinion. He was a good, what they call a good hand, right? And, he has imaginative ideas, but he didn't have anybody like reining him in on some of these ideas. And when you got people thinking that the best part of the show was AJ's promo at the beginning, and people were still cringing at the promo at the beginning. And they decide after the main event to do an angle for their internet fans only, which would set up the main event for their they have a pay-per-view in a couple days. And they didn't have, as of 2 days ago, they didn't have a main event because some of the talent in the main event actually left, right? Reports like there's a lot of TNA talent like either left, like the Inspiration. It was a little, last night was their last night at the company, and they may have offers. You might see them in AEW, you might not. They'll probably be in WWE. Wouldn't doubt it, because the ties there with Sean Spears being there. It's very hard, But meanwhile, CMLL is killing it right now. Starting off in 2026, they're hitting the ground. They're running hot, and they're integrating AEW. They're utilizing the AEW partnership to bring in AEW talent to help bolster CMLL cards. I mean, the cards were sold out already, but having them there it's a very good bonus. I mean, it's like it's a special treat for the fans. It's like, how often do you see Roderick Strong at Arena Mexico? And that's that's a rare occasion in itself. And it's like, and then you got the whole Dynamite thing, Dynamite and Collision being taped a couple days ago in Phoenix, and word gets out that Powerhouse Hobbs' contract was up at midnight that night, so they decided to call an audible, and you'll see when Collision airs in a couple days. It's like spoiler alert, right? What they set up in Dynamite is going to pay off at Collision for a certain tag team and their first time partner. And some people are going to be very happy about it. And it sets up the trios division. It will set up the trios division well, especially with the Rascals coming in, because the Rascals are a very, very good team, very good trios team. Rascals are a very good trios team, and Brodito is still around. Tag division's getting beefier with the showing that the former Jake Something and Mark Davis had, first time together as a tag team. They work well together. It's like, some guys have like instant chemistry, and they do it. They're just out there being straight maulers. And then later on, last night, good friend Big Fella Butch posts on Instagram that the Butcher and the Blade are officially back. We're officially back in AEW. And that no one is safe. So you add those monsters to the Gates of Agony, Doyle and Davis. They gotta get a name. Because I figured Doyle and Davis are going to get the belt, and everybody else is going to chase them. It's going to be. It's funny. It's like the tag team division. It's almost like two different divisions. Like you got the junior, the juniors with the Bucks and Top Flight. The Sky Team, sorry. And the Acclaimed are still there. Will they or won't they re-team? Like Brodito's still there, still a team, right? And you got the Bang Bang Gang, just waiting for you got the Bang Bang Gang still, right? You've got a lot of options, and then you throw in the big fella and Great Brother Pepper, want to make up for make up for last 2 years of not Larry hitting the lariat on people, because at one time they had fought everybody on the roster. Now there's a whole new crop of people they can beat the fuck out of. And I approve of this. I approve of this heartily. To that end, I put in a request with the big fella and Great Brother Pepper to come on, stop by the TalkNShop Live gimmick. If they get a hold of LG, get a hold of the gun, and let's set up the dream match. If it was up to me, that would be the main event of TalkNShop Mania 3. A couple months ago, it was intimated that would have been the main event of the Blissmas show that they did in Buffalo. But plans change at the last minute, so it is what it is. But now that Pepper's cleared, he looks like he's in great, ready to go. It doesn't look like he's had surgery at all. Back to being a badass, and the Butch has been touring, but he's also been training, he's also been training on the, he's been in the lab, he's been in the lab honing his skills. And I have a feeling when they come back, it's gonna be awesome, because they've never, the whole time they've been in AEW, they've never really been a babyface team. Set those monsters loose against the Don Callis family, and watch the fireworks. Just let them loose, for Christ's sake. Because they were starting to get organically over just by being ass kickers. Before Pepper got hurt. I know Andy's been touring with Atomic Rule and putting out EPs, and the EPs are great. They've been killing it on tours. Yeah. Man, it's just good to see them back. It'll be good to see him back on my screen, beating the fuck out of people. That's all. I'm a simple man. I see my friends beat the shit out of people. I'm happy. I support them with my money. So, there has been scuttlebutt about, okay, back to Powerhouse Hobbs. About where exactly is he going to fit? Yes, there is now room in NXT, but he's been on, or is Triple H can do the tone deaf thing and pair him with like somebody like Apollo Crews, or try and replace Big E in the New Day with him, considering the direction the New Day have gone into. They probably fit that vibe a little more, but again, it's like, or do you even trust him to go solo? I mean, they already have Oba Femi, and they're gonna throw the Brinks truck at him because he's a license to print money. He has a license to print money, and Hobbs is. I have no idea how they're going to use him. If it's going to be like what they've done with all the other people they brought in with AEW and just kept the presentation as is, it's going to confuse. It might confuse people. It might. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that you see the Book of Hobbs gimmick working in WWE, especially. Yeah, it's the sort of thing where it's like you see Hobbs being paired up with Mark Henry, like a Hall of Fame Hall of Pain 2.0 thing. We'll see. It's still early days, right? And I mean, they're already screwing up with with AEW, ex-AEW talent who's gone back. It's like, might as well put Miro on a milk carton. Where has he been? Right? It's been 2 months. Where has he been? And Aleister Black or Malachi Black is he's sort of stuck in a vortex. It's like they're trying to pigeonhole. They're trying to shift what they were, what they really wanted Cross to be, to him and Zelina. It's like Zelina, Zelina tries hard. She tries very, very hard. Watched her, videos of her training, and it's like she's a great promo. But people are only going to see her as a valet because she did so well with Andrade. And that's all. That's sort of a typecaster. It's like, and they'll bring up her height, which is ridiculous because May Saruga is 2 inches shorter than Zelina, and she kills it. She kills it. I mean, I saw an Instagram photo the other day of that little apple May, next to Queen Aminata. It's like the size difference is like insane. Because Aminata's like 5'8", and it's like May looked like a little child, looked like a child next to her. So it makes what she does even more impressive. Oh yeah, that's right. We got Choco Pro 500 this weekend. May versus Balyanaki. This is the thing. If you're Choco Mint, you're chopping at the bit for this because they've been teasing this for the past 3 years. Because they both claim to be the ace of the promotion, right? If you ever watch a Best Brothers match, they tend to give each other a ration of shit during the matches, even when they're on commentary. Because see, in Choco Pro, the wrestlers do commentary on all the other matches on their cards. So it leads to situations where Aki will get on there and basically talk shit about May in English while she's wrestling, saying how, she's just basically talking shit because, you figure May doesn't understand what he's saying. But then May will do the same thing to Aki, and her English is getting better, but she's hilarious. Not but she's hilarious, but she's naturally hilarious girl. She's a real good sense of humor about herself. But yeah, it's a funny dynamic. I can't wait to see it play out later. And bottom line, I'll be entertained. If you found any of this entertaining, which I doubt, but hey, I gotta be honest. Yeah, I've been accused of being self-critical to a fault, but if you actually like this stuff, it's like you can support your boy, because after all, I always need extra, a little extra shekels for pizza, or what, pizza every now and then wouldn't hurt. I've got merch. Oh, I got merch at $9 podcast.dashery.com. Tons of sizes, tons of colors. No cuck chairs. That would be gimmick infringement on certain other entities in the Falcon's Nest. Yeah, the Falcon's Nest is, for all intents and purposes, the name of the chat room of the TalkNShop Patreon. It's a clubhouse full of well-meaning people, but it tends to get out of hand every once in a while, especially since they've discovered the joys and horrors of AI image manipulation. Trust me on this one. And if you don't know about the TalkNShop Patreon, it's great. It's great. It's like it costs by about, I think it runs. There's a couple tiers. It's like $8 a month for basic, and there's a good brother tier for like about, I think, 20 a month. That gets you to everything. It gets you get like more or less daily updates from Machine Gun personally. He calls it the Machine Gun Morning Radio. You'll do like live streams from his weight room in the Allegra compound. With certain co-hosts being a couple of the Allegra kids. A couple more, one or two of them are like budding podcasters. As a part of the Patreon, you would also get access to user-created podcasts, because Machine Gun had a wild idea about a year ago. It's like, hey, I want this place to be the Sirius Radio, my own Sirius Radio, full of people in the nest with their own podcasts, their own take, entertaining the nest, basically. And and most of the podcasts come out like on various times. I'm technically the most consistent. That's because real life intervenes for a lot of people, and that's understandable. I'd venture, I'd venture to say, if you are a big TalkNShop fan, you will love the Patreon because it's honest. You know, yeah, Machine Gun will be brutally honest in the chat about a lot of things. Most of it does not make it. Most of it does not make it to, yeah, to the clickbait sites. But every once in a while, something he'll say, something the boys will say, like on the YouTube live, which is something they do every week on the Hoots YouTube channel. YouTube channel. That stuff usually goes viral with their takes, and then Squared Circle Reddit has a meltdown about how oh my god, basically they don't know how to handle the boys. It's basically, it's like Squared Circle Reddit can't tell the difference between a work and a shoot when it comes to the boys, because the boys, especially Machine Gun put over his persona so well in New Japan about all his mansions and his money, and people believe he actually believes that shit. Took it at face value. It's like, he's playing a character, for Christ's sake. But some people some people hate that. It's, whereas Gallows is universally loved. I mean, I've seen the podcast Cody did with Finn, and they're both lamenting the fact that Gallows wasn't in the locker room because they miss him dearly. When you have that's how, if you have a reputation like that, it's like you're gonna have a job anywhere, right? Always be good with the boys, right? Always put yourself over to a fault. It's like know your worth, and always be hustling. And the boys always be hustling.